From childhood, we fear the dark, but most of us will never experience the helpless terror of total darkness. I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories of terror and hope on Rescue 911. We begin in rural Indiana on July 1st, 1985. Michael Hall and his friend Roman Lazowski entered the Spring Mill State Park caves. Dressed in swim trunks and T-shirts, armed only with flashlights, they were completely unprepared for what they would find.
I've known Roman since high school. We were very close. You know, we just done everything together. Well, some people like to hunt and fish, and, I like to come caving every year. So that's what we did. That's why I felt kind of responsible, because I'm the one that got it together. If I wouldn't have asked him, he wouldn't have been with me.
Mike and his friend Roman had paid no attention to the warning posted outside the caves, so they had no idea that heavy rains miles away would cause the cave's underground stream to flood.
We really couldn't notice it at first. I mean, it was rough, but it wasn't high.
Pretty intense here, Roman.
And it was, like, all right, it's a little higher. It's going to be a little funner. So we just kept going forward, and it started getting really wild. I started thinking, well, hey, maybe we might have to go back. But once we got past that part, I knew we couldn't go back, because you can't, you couldn't swim across that kind of water. We're in trouble, serious trouble. That's when Roman, he was trying to situate himself on his side of the cave, and he lost his balance. From that point, I sat there at least a couple hours. I didn't know what to do. That was probably one of the hardest things I ever done, is just to let go. About the time that I didn't think that I was going to make it, that's when I come popping up outside the cave.
At 1:15 p.m., park manager Bill Carlisle got the first call for help.
Spring 1, Spring.
Go ahead.
I have a report from the surface building, injured subject, Donaldson Cave parking lot.
He was shaking and his teeth was chattering, and barely could you understand what he was trying to tell you. I know he was deeply concerned for his friend, because he kept saying, my friend's in there.
Believing Roman was trapped in the caves, Carlisle called in the local chapter of the National Cave Rescue Commission, led by Don Piquette.
When I arrived at the parking lot, a ranger started telling me this incredible story about how someone had blown out of the Donaldson Cave entrance in the flood with his body trashed, broken arm, and spill out this story about how his friend was still in the cave.
If Roman was still alive, he could be almost anywhere in thousands of feet of flooded caves.
I drew the short straw and got to be the person to go down into the crevice and see what was going on. And what I saw at the point where the ceiling drops was almost like a geyser. We could not send divers into anything like that. They would have been pushing a 40-knot current, zero visibility.
There was no way in. Rescue workers were forced to give up that night and wait for the water level to drop. But the next morning, the water was still extremely high. Roman might fall in the dark and drown or die of exposure before they could get past the geyser. They decided to risk going in the front of the caves.
We really thought that once we got past the entrance rapids and into the cave, it would be negotiable.
Take it off. I can't touch the cam.
Instead, the passage narrowed, the current picked up, and it pulled us back against the ledge with the raft, and we were pinned against the wall.
I can't move it. Right. You move it out.
At this point, we felt very stupid and also very trapped.
We've had no contact for 30 minutes. They were supposed to call us every 15 minutes. We've heard nothing. Over.
We got 50-50 chance to cut it loose. This way we're dead for sure.
After 3 hours of struggling, the rescuers managed to pull themselves out of the caves to safety. But they had made no contact with Roman.
Not knowing if the person was even in the cave, and if he was in the cave, if he was alive, it was not worth risking human lives to try sending cave divers in.
Roman's friends and family had gathered outside the caves, waiting for any word of his fate.
After I find out he was missing, I just was out of my mind, you know. I walked down the river and kind of talking to myself, talking to him and stuff.
Roman's mother was joined by his sister, Chris.
We were just scared to death. I just felt like crying all the time and just helpless, very helpless.
Roman had been missing for more than 24 hours when the regional director of the Cave Rescue Commission, Dr. Noel Sloan, arrived.
In the next 12 hours or so, I'm afraid he's going to die from hypothermia.
The floodwaters were still blocking both ends of the caves, so volunteer firemen dug all night by hand, trying to get in through an old cave shaft. Time was running out. Early the next morning, heavy drilling equipment was brought in to tunnel down from the top through 75 feet of rock. K-9 teams searched to see if Roman had been washed out of the cave like Mike, but had been too badly hurt to call for help. Then after 47 hours of silence, they heard a faint voice inside the cave. Roman was still alive. The water was so loud communication was impossible, but the level had finally dropped enough that they could try to snake in a care package past the geyser to Roman.
I see this light, you know, it's like first thing I've seen in, 2 days. And I'm like, hey, help, it's me, I'm alive.
Roman had managed to climb up out of the 60-mile-an-hour floodwaters onto a 4-inch ledge, and he had remained there trapped in the dark without food, water, or any sign of hope until the care package.
Next thing I know, I see some guy pop up onto the other side.
One of the rescue workers had forced his way past the geyser.
It's very common in rescue situations for the victim to do very well right up until the rescuers reach him, and then to give up or let go or make a move towards the rescuers. It's unsafe and end up dying.
There wasn't much you could say because, you weren't sure if he could really hear what you're saying because he was all bundled up. You just wanted to touch him to make sure he was alive.
And I look and I see my mom. I saw a bunch of my friends. I'd been alive.
Roman was badly cut up and dehydrated, but after 58 hours, he was finally out of the cave.
There just haven't been enough cave rescues to make people qualified experts. And so anytime you come out of a cave rescue with a live person, it was a good rescue.
Next.
That's the ventilator helping him breathe. It's hard to leave him, isn't it?